Hi, welcome to Dr. B's Advice to the World. I'm Dr. Nina Blanchard, and this is my channel where we talk about different things related to academics, life, research, anything like that. So this is the second video in a series on how to use research and understand research in the real world. My goal here is to give people who are not in academia or people who don't have access to libraries advice on how to pick out what the good stuff is and what the bad stuff is, like good stuff and bad stuff. Right? What's the truth? What's the truth versus what is not really relevant? And by truth, I don't mean there's an answer and there's a truth. I mean that there is some data that's objective and done well that you can use to kind of make some decisions. Okay, we're going to have lots of discussions going on about one study. It does not tell you everything, so you need to look at lots of studies, but that's a future study. Today we're going to talk about books. And this is one where I feel like there's going to be another video linked to this soon about books because I'm still learning how to tell other people about how to trust books about science, or books about truth, or things you like, nutrition and parenting and working and all of these things that can help you make decisions to be the best you can be in your life. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about, we talked last week about peer-reviewed research. I'm hoping I'm going to put some link somewhere here on that video. And this is going to be like another way that research is spread among academics about science. And books can be very good. Some of my colleagues do academic books in history, political science, some comm studies, anthropology, lots of really well-researched, thoughtful analysis of a topic. And the main way that audience communicates with each other is through books. Now, in social sciences, we'll use peer-reviewed journals. Other academic disciplines use books, and those are fantastic. They're very good. Then there are another type of academic book called edited books, where they're editors and other people contribute to the book, writing different chapters, and they are peer-reviewed by outsiders as well as other authors in the book, and they're good. They sometimes are not given the same credit in my discipline particularly as peer-reviewed research, but they are peer-reviewed, and they do cross a bar of acceptance for doing research, and they are good books. Both of those books may be a little dense to read because they are directed towards an academic audience, not a wider audience, and that's where popular books come in, or mainstream books, and we call them in my world pop psychology. I don't know what they call them otherwise, but popular books that are directed to the mainstream. And those can also be good. There are ways that good researchers are able to take the research they've done, the research they've seen, and digest it and give it to people in an easily readable way that people can use that information to make decisions. I'm going to put a link down to one of my colleagues who's done a book on meetings that I think is a good popular book based on science. Okay, that's a good book. And then we have the other ones. And those are the ones I want to warn you about, and those are the ones that are hardest to for me to explain how to tell the difference between the good popular books and the bad science popular books. Well, I'm going to give you two examples that I've come up with in the last 6 months. One, I've been looking into nutrition, trying to find out the best way to, what's the best ways of eating. Believe it or not, there's a lot of popular books out there, a lot of blogs and people who are going to give you all kinds of ass advice, and those are full-on ass advice, that are not based on actual science. Because I've gone to the peer-reviewed, I've gone to the medical journals, I've gone to the peer-reviewed research. There's very little good research out there. But you can easily pick up a book. I'm not going to name names, but I picked up a book. It's an older book, and was reading through it. And they were citing all these research articles, so it looked like, because they had little citations and the authors' names and years, citing all these citations, and they were, it looked like science. And then I went back to see what they're doing. Those were newspaper articles. They were clearly biased white papers. They were there was not a single peer-reviewed research article that they cited. And honestly, that and all the fat shaming they did in that book, I had that book 2 hours before I returned it to Amazon. So, I would flip the bird, but that seems a little too extreme. But it pissed me off, okay? So, one, look at the back of the book. Are they citing journals or are they citing newspapers and white papers that are not peer-reviewed? If they're citing peer-reviewed research, good. Because if they're interpreting them for you. They don't all have to be peer-reviewed, but some of them need to be, okay? The second problem, besides interpreting non-science as scientific truth, the second problem is over-interpreting and over-generalizing the results of a scientific study. And this became clear to me when I was a parent of young children trying to figure out how to help them sleep. And you're getting all this sleep advice and information, and people are like, oh, this is the truth, or that's the truth. Well, I was reading through, and I finally said, let me go look at these original studies. I have access to the research. First of all, there's, again, not a lot of research on that. Two, the researchers were grossly misinterpreting, or not the researchers, the authors were grossly misinterpreting what research had been done to support their opinion. Oh my gosh. And that cannot happen in any sort of academic research because we are reviewed by our peers. And when I read a research study that overinterprets one study, leaves out lots of other research on the same topic, they do not get past my gate to be published in the journal or in the book chapter or in whatever I'm reviewing. It's just not. But people who are doing these other pop psychology things who have an agenda, those are people who are going to overinterpret and misrepresent the science that's been done. Okay, it's been 7 minutes. That's a lot of time to talk about. Okay, this is, again, it's all Ask Vice. I'm figuring out how to best explain to people who want to consume this information about how to do it. You can take or leave it. You can give suggestions on how you decide whether something is credible or not. And I will certainly love to talk about it and react with you, okay? So thank you very much. Remember, it's all Ask Vice. And I'm happy to be sharing this information with you. Okay, thanks. Bye.